You talked about changing your tone a little bit with former President Trump. I don't believe you mentioned him here by name tonight, but does this mean you're going to be a bit more aggressive with campaigning against him?
So look, I'm going to respond to attacks.
Are you? Are you? Now, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is in the middle of a feud with Donald Trump because he is running against Trump in the Republican primary, has really failed at hitting Trump, taking jabs at Trump. Because let's keep it real, Trump has no problem playing dirty, he has no problem hitting below the belt. Ron DeSantis seems to have a lack of charisma and just this inability to respond to Trump aggressively enough to really impress people. With that said, you're about to hear Ron DeSantis give that reporter you heard from his harshest critique of Trump yet. Let's watch.
If you say Cuomo did a better job with COVID than Florida did, first of all, that's not what he used to say. This is like new, like 6 months ago, he would have never said that, right? He used to say how great Florida was. Hell, his whole family moved to Florida under my governorship. Are you kidding me? So some of this stuff I think is, look, if someone is saying that, I am gonna counterpunch, I'm gonna fight back on it. I'm gonna focus my fire on Biden. And I think he should do the same. He gives Biden a free pass. I'm focusing on Biden. That's my focus.
Oh, so you don't kick sideways, you kick forward, just like Nikki Haley. What do you think, John? You think
I hated that in like 6 different ways. That was bad. What are you talking about? What is up with that? Criticizing me? This'll win over the conservatives. That's not gonna work. First of all, he goes immediately from I'm gonna respond, I'm gonna counterpunch, and then I'm only gonna talk about Biden. And he should do the same.
I know.
So don't talk about me, talk about Biden. Come on, I'm tough, am I not? And like, look at these people who desperately hope that I win because otherwise their career in Republican politics is done are clapping. So I've got to be great. Every bit of what he just said could have been delivered probably slightly better by Jeb Bush. It had very strong Jeb Bush energy.
Low energy Jeb.
Yeah, look, he's got a difficult task ahead of him. He has to attack, and there's no real reason to believe that he's the guy that could actually make that work. It's just that that's the only way to take down Trump. And this is just not good enough. Saying like Trump is inconsistent. He said that Florida was good and now he's saying it's bad. Yeah, they don't care about that.
No, they don't. No, it's almost as if Ron DeSantis has been like living under a rock for the last 5 years, 6 years, right? You know the Republican base doesn't care about hypocrisy or inconsistency from Trump. So like if that's your line of attack, like, oh, he's complaining about Florida, but he moved here. Okay, I mean, and look, this is the problem with Ron DeSantis. It would be one thing if he's in desperate need of a charisma transplant, but had policies that were unique to Trump's and actually spoke to the concerns or the desires of the average Republican voter. But that's not the case. He's just a copy of Trump, like low budget, low end copy of Trump in terms of policy. Some might argue that he would be more effective than Trump in getting his policies through because he doesn't get distracted with all sorts of weird social media squabbles. But nonetheless, like you would need to sell that as a candidate with some charisma, but he just doesn't have it. And then on top of that, whether it's Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis, this idea that like, we're just gonna pretend like we don't have to deal with a Republican primary and immediately start campaigning as if we're in the general. Like, I know that that's what you wish was happening, but that is not what's happening. You still need to defeat the front runner in the Republican Party, and that is Donald Trump.
Yeah, and as we've hinted at various points over the last few months, there's a couple of reasons why I think they all want to do that. Like there's personality reasons and there's sort of pragmatic, hopeful reasons. The personality reason is that they desperately want to avoid a fight with him. Every single one of them, whether they pitch themselves as tough guys who make like the libs cry or something, they're all terrified of actually going toe to toe with him because they know the stakes. Not just in terms of humiliation, but their future in the Republican Party. And so as a strategy, it can be appealing to them if it makes it so that they're not gonna be mocked by him. But that's a fool's errand. He's going to hit them regardless if they want to have any chance of winning. The other reason that they're all to some extent doing that is every one of them is like getting on their knees and praying every night that Trump just goes to jail and that's it. And then they didn't have to get in a fight with him and they didn't have to, anger the MAGA base. In that case, it's actually not a bad strategy, but but that requires the same sort of hope in the system that I think a lot of maybe people who watch this show took years to get out of their system. Right. The belief that the system will function does not often come true.
I love that you mentioned that. You're absolutely right, which is why I have no faith that Donald Trump, regardless of the crimes he's committed, will see the inside of a prison cell. I could be wrong, but I just have so little hope in our criminal justice system overall, especially when it comes to people in positions of power or the elite serving consequences for the actions they took part in. But I do want to give you a few other examples. Maybe we're being unfair to DeSantis. So why don't we do a quick comparison, okay? We'll start off with DeSantis trying to go after Trump and then compare that to a pro-Trump ad. And then we can, really gauge what's going on here.
Ron DeSantis loves sticking his fingers where they don't belong. And we're not just talking about pudding. DeSantis has his dirty fingers all over senior entitlements, like cutting Medicare, slashing Social Security, even raising our retirement age. Tell Ron DeSantis to keep his pudding fingers off our money. Oh, and somebody get this man a spoon.
Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Now, apologies. I was hoping for a compilation of DeSantis jabs toward Trump, except it doesn't exist because he purposely goes out of his way to avoid having to even utter Trump's name. But I do want to end on one more jab from Trump toward DeSantis. Let's watch.
And I said, Ron, you can beat this guy. Let's go. I got him the nomination. By the way, couldn't have never gotten the nomination. He would be working in either a pizza parlor place or a law office right now.
I just love the disparity, John.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for me, he'd end up working at a pizza parlor or maybe a law office. Maybe a law office. But
same thing to him.
One of the two. Same thing.
They're both peasant jobs as far as Trump is concerned. Like he'd either be like a mail boy or a CFO. I don't care. Yeah, also little Italian jab in there again, continuing the attacks against Italians. So look,
are you offended by that, John?
I don't care about anything anymore. Sure.
Nice.
As someone who did once win a scholarship based on an essay I wrote about how important it was to me to be Italian, I am offended.
John.
I just wanted the money. Okay, so here's the thing. In theory, if Ron DeSantis wanted his best chance to beat Trump, which would not be a good chance, maybe it'd be 1 in 20, maybe it'd be 1 in 10, but it'd be his best chance, is that he would have to do a version of that Puddin' Fingers ad, and he would have to do it constantly. You have to attack Trump in completely unfair, underhanded, low class, kind of disgusting ways.
Yeah.
And hope that it's okay. And it's not hard to come up with ways.
Yeah, Donald Trump wants to sleep with his daughter Ivanka. And then just have the pictures of Ivanka sitting on her dad's lap. Like, yeah, it's disgusting and it's terrible. About her. But it would, I don't know if it would work, but it would be on the same level as Trump.
Sure, show a bunch of videos of Melania slapping Trump's hand away and talk about his loveless marriage, how sad he is in his old age with his loveless marriage. But more than just cruelty, and you should be cruel, you have to be cruel, you also have to mock. It has to be condescending mockery. You should every time he talks about the Puddin' Fingers, you should hold up like a wet wipe and say, Trump, let me just get within range where I can wipe this across your face and I will unman you with the amount of makeup that I'm able to pull off of your cheeks. You rotting old husk of a man who has to paint his face and put on fake hair. Let me grab a hold of your hair and wipe your cheek and I'll show what kind of man you actually are.
Damn, John.
You can do stuff like that. But it would be
moonlighting as a Republican strategist? Is that what's going on?
It's worth a try. Show the photo of him playing tennis where his butt is very massive. It's totally unfair and disgusting.
People like big butts though. There's a whole song about it.
I'm just saying, you've got to be brutal in the same way that he's brutal. If he's mocking your high heels, mock the fact that he's paid doctors to lie about his height and his weight. Challenge him on the debate stage. You come out to the debate stage with a scale and you put it in front of him and you say, step on it, buddy. We want to see if your doctor's comments check out, oh, are you scared to step on the scale? This is all disgusting. And people's weight has nothing to do with whether they'd be good politicians. I'm just saying, from the point of view of a right winger, these are the sorts of disgusting underhanded attacks that would have a chance of making him a laughingstock in the same way he's doing to you.
This country is so embarrassing. It just is. USA, USA.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.